And welcome back to another edition of Completely Unoriginal, your source for everything nerd here at DakotaBroadcasting.com. I'm Adam St. Paul, joined by Kurt Campbell and Tony Zur.
Hello.
As always. Gentlemen, how are we doing today?
Pretty good.
I will say fine, I suppose.
Fine. Why fine?
It's Friday, and the weather's nice, but, I want to reserve judgment just yet.
We're recording this on Friday.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Who knows when anyone might be listening.
They may never listen.
Yes, that is true as well. Lots of stuff to talk about today, so I think we're going to dive right into it. And we're going to start off first, I think, with the Avengers second trailer being released. Oh my god, 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 oh my god. Spider-Man! It's Spider-Man! Tony, you seemed excited online to talk about this, so I'm going to give you the floor.
I'm not. I don't know. Like it was cool, but I honestly think they should have waited. I mean, I think that the buzz around the movie was just kind of like meh. People aren't as excited as they wanted them to be, and so they dropped this. And I honestly thought he looked terrible.
What?
Like, I thought that it looked really fake. Just compared to like Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man costume and everything. I just think that it looked very, very CGI.
Tony, you're dead wrong on everything that you just said. You're worse than Hitler, and I hope you die in a fire.
Oh,
that's how much I disagree with you right now.
Wow. Go ahead. Go at it, guys. I'm just going to sit back and enjoy.
Well, no, I agree with you 100%, Tony, that the attitude surrounding this movie is very much meh. I don't think there's any denying that. Now there's a little bit more buzz to it, but I think superhero fatigue is really starting to settle in, at least Marvel superhero fatigue. And what I mean by that is the ones coming from Marvel Studios, because I'll tell you what, when you look at it in retrospect, the Avengers Age of Ultron is not getting a nice treatment. You know what I'm saying, Tony?
Yeah.
Exactly. It's not being, people aren't looking at it with the rose-colored glasses that they did with the original Avengers. It's funny, though, that you mentioned that you didn't like Spider-Man's look, because I literally said to Kurt today that was like the best part about it was his look. He had the dark red and dark blue suit on, like I remember him having in the cartoon I watched as a kid, and his eyes, it was kind of like Deadpool, where I'm pretty sure they CGI it and they move with the character to give him a little more, life, so they don't have to be like Andrew Garfield and have him have the mask off for half the movie, because God forbid Garfield not show his face. I always thought the Garfield getup was ugly, and I never liked it. Marvel, to their credit, the one thing that they've always done well, amongst many things, is getting color schemes right and making their characters colorful and pretty and fun to look at.
Yeah.
And that's what I thought this was.
They do, as far as I'm concerned, this is just my 2 cents, they make the characters look as close to as if they just leapt off the comic book page as they can, and keep it realistic for the movie's sensibility.
I know, but it was entirely CGI. It was like the first time you saw CGI Yoda. It was like, there was not a person in a costume.
Are you sure about that?
That was all CGI.
I don't know.
I don't know if it was.
I don't know.
And I think...
They just had this dude come in on a microphone and say, "Hey, guys."
And I'll tell you what, Tony, and even if, and you can argue against this, but even if it was CGI, the fact that it was good enough to fool Kurt and I mean, I think that says worlds about how good looking it was, even if he was CGI.
I must be taking crazy pills, because that looks like a cartoon. That looks like a goddamn cartoon, man.
I think you are taking crazy pills. I also, real quick for our listeners, I hope Tony is not worse than Hitler, and I hope he doesn't die in a fire. But no, I just wanted to win the argument.
It's an inside joke about winning arguments.
I just wanted to win the argument right there, because you just can't come back from that. Period.
No,
so we're good, right, Tony?
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, I guess, I mean, there's not much more to say, because I think Tony and I are just worlds apart here. I loved not every second of the trailer. In fact, I could have cared less about the trailer. Black Panther looks cool. I think that's really cool. And I did like the scene with Ant-Man running on Hawkeye's arrow. Like, I think they're gonna do a really good job of utilizing these powers like they always have. But I was not excited for it. But then when I saw Spider-Man, and I'm not even a big Spider-Man fan per se. Kurt can attest to this. I'm not a huge Spider-Man guy, but when I saw it, I did think, all right, I'm I'm back. I might be back on board a little bit.
Well, I'm going to pose a question for you guys now, and so I want you to give this some serious thought here. Considering that arguably Captain America the Winter Soldier is the highest rated critically of any of the Marvel movies and is considered by many to be one of the 2 best, then why is the excitement so low for the new Cap film? Are people getting tired of the Marvel Universe? Are people getting superhero fatigue at the movie theaters?
Tony, go ahead.
Well, sorry, I'm taking a minute to think about it.
That's okay.
I could say right now, yeah, I said that, in my kind of little intro spiel. I think people are getting sick of Marvel, and that's why people are looking back at Age of Ultron with not so fondness.
And I really liked it.
Because it's just it was, for a lot of people, it was boring. It was by the numbers, and it's starting to collapse under its own weight of that universe they're trying to create, with when you have Thor running off and doing this pool thing for no reason other than it's to help set up Galactus and the Infinity War and everything.
Right.
Or, not Galactus, but Thanos and the Infinity War and everything like that. That's why, among other reasons, why Deadpool was so successful, was because it was different when it comes to a Marvel movie. Same goes for Ant-Man, a much smaller scale movie, a heist movie at its heart, and using the character's powers to unique and cool ways.
Right.
Deadpool was a revenge movie at its heart, but it was crazy funny, and the character made it what it was. But point is, they were different, they weren't by the numbers, and for the most part, they weren't simply just villains of the week.
Yeah, I think to an extent the Marvel movies are becoming victims of their own success. Because Feige there at Marvel Studios is, I think, trying so hard to build the cohesive Marvel universe that he's trying to put too much into every film, and they don't get a chance to breathe. So I think people are kind of worn out.
I just have to say that, you can see the backlash from all of this right now, and that is, like you said, pretty much everything in Marvel Phase 2, and I guess the Winter Soldier, I guess you can say that was a good movie. People have been saying that to me, and it was okay movie. It wasn't fantastic, and to me, everything in Marvel Phase 2 for me has been really miss. And so when I see that and I see how bad Age of Ultron bombed, I'm looking at it.
It didn't bomb. You cannot ever say that Age of Ultron bombed at the box office.
I'm sorry. Not bombed, but the poor reviews that Age of Ultron got as opposed to the other things that happened in the Marvel Universe. When you look at that, and then you look at how the absolute terrible fashion that they have had Spiderman in the last...
Well, see, yeah.
So you look at that, and you can see that in this trailer where they're like, okay, come on, both Sony and Marvel are both just like, come on, just hop on here with us, because 2 years ago, I'm pretty sure that I was having conversations with people where we were at each other's throats, because I'm like, come on, man, why can't Spider-Man be in the Avengers? And be like, there's no way that Sony will do that. There's no way that Marvel will do that. They will not cross paths. They won't do it. And now, what do we see? And it's just them. They're swinging for the frickin' fence, man.
Sony has had to do it, though, because the last 2 Spider-Man movies, the last 3 have been dreck.
The last
Sam Raimi movie was destroyed by the studios. The reboots with Garfield are not good. They're just not.
Thank you. Yes,
they are not good. And Sony is, they're flailing. They don't know what to do, so they kind of need a little goodwill, and I think that's why they let Spider-Man loose to be in this particular movie. And also, I want to add that in the trailer, when Tony turns and yells, "Hey, underoos!" I chortled very heartily. Because, as a kid who grew up with underoos superhero underwear, that was a nice moment.
And, what was cool, too, I thought, was the fact that he only had one line, but it was clearly the voice of a kid.
Yeah, a young person.
It was clearly the voice of a teenager, which is something that both Raimi's Spider-Man and what's his name, Chris Webb or whatever, whoever directed this other one, neither one of them had teenagers in the role of Spider-Man, the one teenage superhero that they've been, touting during this time.
Yeah, that's kind of a little nitpicky, maybe, because
I'm just saying I like.
No, I agree. It's a good move.
Yeah, and I like that aspect of it, and I'm not taking away. Tobey Maguire was a fine Spider-Man. That's not what I'm trying to say. I'm just saying they actually have a teen in the role, which is exciting, and like I said, I just love the way he looked, and that's all I can really say further, because Tony's not going to change my mind, and I'm not going to change Tony's mind here. So.
Oh my gosh, which one of you is Captain America and which one of you is Iron Man?
We were friends, so were we. Whatever it was in that movie.
Look, I'm just trying to say this: is that it just seemed. At first, I even posted it. You can quote me. I said, now I'm excited, because I am excited to see what happens. But the thing is that it still just seems so packaged to me. Because, okay, he slings up the shield and he jumps onto the car, and in my eyes, it's obviously a Yoda CGI character. And you even said, it must have been CGI when his eyes moved. Of course it was CGI when his eyes moved.
You can combine the two. Yeah, you can combine live action and CGI.
All of a sudden, you're the arbiter of Hollywood. No one can use CGI.
No, but I'm just saying that, you guys are sitting here debating on whether or not it was CGI. Of course it was all CGI. And then you have this kid who goes, "Hey everyone." He's not saying "Hey everyone" to all of the superheroes around him. No, he's saying it to America, guys. This kid's voting for Donald Trump.
No, he's not. No, that's terrible. Don't you ever call Spider-Man a Trump supporter ever again, or I will set your toes on fire.
No, but I'm just saying, it was like when he said, "Hey everyone," I was like, "Oh, he's saying that to America." It's like, "Hey America, look, and it's me, and I'm back, and I'm in this big movie, and I'm here to save both of these franchises, and here we go."
This goes back to the heart of the matter, Tony, and that's the fact that you have always been too harsh on the Marvel movies and how they like to be a little fan service every now and then. You criticize them for being too colorful. You criticize them for being too feel good. Then go over to DC and watch the terrible Batman v Superman gore fest that it's gonna be, and then Batman says the F-bomb one time.
That'll be on Blu-ray. Yeah,
that'll be on Blu-ray.
I'm honestly a victim of what you guys initially called superhero fatigue. I'm worn out, man. They did so much with Phase 1, and it ended with Avengers, and then everything else just started not combating those first movies in any sort of way. People always tell me that Captain America was not as good as the Winter Soldier, and I disagree. I thought Captain America was a great origin movie, because honestly, before I watched that movie and I heard that a Captain America movie was coming, I didn't give a crap about him. I'm like, I don't care about Captain America. What do I care about Captain America? But I watched that first movie with Red Skull and him, back in those days, fighting it up and like the mental stuff that he was going through the entire movie. I thought it was an amazing movie. It made me care about Steve Rogers. And then all of a sudden he just becomes this Boy Scout. I mean, at the end of that movie...
That's kind of Captain America's character, though. That's who he is as a character. He's a, hey, let's go USA kind of guy. That's who he is.
But at the end of that movie, at the end of the first Captain America movie, he was different. You had seen that he saw the darker side of things, and he wasn't such a Boy Scout anymore, and he knew that he had to get his hands dirty in some respects. And then all of a sudden... he becomes the golden boy of the Avengers and the butt of everybody's jokes and everything like that. And I just thought that it was a really lame way to go out.
I mean, that's Captain America's character. He's always been that way. And actually, I think that in Civil War, the two sides should be reversed. Tony should be against mutant or superhero registration, and Cap should be for it, because it's law and order, it's government, helping out. And everything.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. But we're gonna move away from this topic because we're almost already out of time.
Good
here.
grief.
Yeah, and we could go. And the thing is, if we don't squash it, we're gonna keep going on forever.
Well, we still got time before it comes out. It's in May, so we could always pick this up again.
Yes, exactly. I want to move on because another thing that Tony and I think are going to disagree with, and that is the fact that Tim Burton has come out and announced that they are filming Beetlejuice 2, starring Michael Keaton as, of course, Beetlejuice, and Winona Ryder is back as well. Guys, Go ahead. What do you think?
I'm excited. I'm excited. I'm excited. Thank you.
Okay, I'm just going to go back in time for a minute. Back in like 2002, 2003, I was driving in the car with my dad, and we were listening to public radio. And they were talking about how Tim Burton wanted to make another Beetlejuice movie where Beetlejuice, it was before he was a bioexorcist, a prequel, if you will. And I was always very intrigued by that, and I was waiting for that movie to come out, and it never did. And so now I'm excited for this, but at the same time, I know what Burton's work has been like lately. And then I find out Winona Ryder's in it, so obviously it's not going to be a prequel like I was hoping for. But I'm excited, but I'm still kind of on the fence about it.
I'm not excited for it. First off, just because I'm not a huge fan of the original Beetlejuice film. That's just all there is to it. But second of all, it's because when was the last time, and especially you hit the nail on the head, Tony, when you talk about Burton's recent work, he has not been himself, or at least not the way he used to be, not to his old form. And when was the last time, besides George Miller, I qualify that, who's someone who has returned to a franchise or a film that they have left years and years go by and have found success in trying to recreate that magic? I think the list is endless of people trying to go back to their old game and failing. And I think this is going to be a case of that for sure. You look at the likes of the Farrelly brothers with Dumb and Dumber 2. You look at I had another one in the top of my head here as well, but that's the first one that could come to me, and I'll keep churning them out as I think now because I have to train my thought. But what do you think of that?
Well, I think Ridley Scott is trying to do it,
and he's not. I wouldn't say Prometheus was a grand hit, certainly, at least when it comes to the story. It looked great, but I don't think it was a great success.
He's in the process. He's in the process of doing it, so we'll see if he can pull it out. But I for the sake of the fact that I love the Aliens franchise so much, I do hope that he pulls it off.
Let's see here. John Carpenter's return to horror with The Ward was terrible.
Well, that's a return to horror. That's not the same thing.
But it is in spirit, because it's not the same film or any character he's ever worked on, but it is his return to a genre that he once
Well, he never really left it.
Well, I disagree with that, producing-wise. I'm saying directing, I guess.
No, he with the exception of maybe They Live and the occasional odd film like Starman or something like that, he's been very steadily in the horror genre since 1978. So I don't know if I could agree with you there. My inner movie nerd might disagree with you a little bit.
I would say another one. Again, this is just returning to filmmaking in general. Francis Ford Coppola's Twixt was just terrible.
He's lost it.
Yeah.
He honestly, I don't think he has the artistic energy anymore. He's too busy making wine and cooking food and being a man who made The Godfather and The Godfather Part 2 that you can never take away from him.
Now you can look to George Miller because he returned to Mad Max. When was the last Mad Max film before that?
86.
86. He hadn't made one of those in over 20 years, and he comes out and just kills it
Oh,
with
did
Mad
he
Max
kill it?
Fury Road, so it's possible. But another thing, too, is I don't know, does George Miller really have any quote-unquote bombs or stinkers on his list? I mean, he made some films that probably not everyone, Babe,
It was huge.
Has an audience, certainly not probably us,
It was
se.
huge,
But yeah,
though.
exactly. And he made the sequel to that, and people thought it was okay.
Happy
He
Feet.
did Happy Feet, which was a big success and whatnot. So he did different things. He's never had a bomb, or he's never had something that's been really critically reviled, where Burton recently has.
Yeah, the last good Burton film was Sweeney Todd, in my opinion, which I love.
And that was polarizing, too.
It was, and especially if you're a fan of the original musical, it polarized a lot of them, too, so it divided even further. But, yeah, I mean, Dark Shadows, come on. Give me a break. And I haven't seen Big Eyes, so I can't have an opinion on that.
Big Eyes, people do. I have not seen that one either, but that one's like the closest return to form. People say
that's
that
like
Burton,
closer to the Ed Wood
exactly.
genre or level.
Exactly, yeah. Where you have his unique visuals and storytelling style, and
right.
So on and so forth. But
I think Bryan Singer, he came back and breathed new life into the X-Men.
That's true.
Yeah, that's right. Because after Ratner got a hold of it, it desperately needed something.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh, don't get me started on Brett Ratner.
Well, just a studio yes man hack,
Well,
just like Hack Snyder.
He's worse than Hitler.
No, jeez.
So that ends
He
that
lost
argument.
He lost that argument. What do you think of that, Brett Ratner?
Yeah, you. Oh wait, you can't hear me. Never mind. I don't know.
He might be listening.
He doesn't even care.
We got several famous directors who are fans.
Oh my goodness.
We can't tell you who they are, though.
No. We've
we
been
do
sworn to
have them,
secrecy.
So, I don't know, Tony, anything else to add here before we wrap things up?
No, I'm semi excited for Beetlejuice, and I'm semi excited for Captain America.
Are you semi excited for Spider-Man and how cool he looks?
In the ways that somebody who loved the original Star Wars movies is excited for an all CGI Yoda, that's how excited I am.
Awesome. Kurt, it's been a lot of fun as always, and for Tony Zerd down in Redfield, I'm Adam St. Paul. Until the next time.